Hey, what it do, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And hey, 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 it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Normally on a Wednesday when I'm recording a video, I'm just talking about the updates of the team and getting ready for Sunday's game, blah, blah, blah. But again, we have a Thursday game this week, which is tomorrow. And the second Thursday week in a row because last week was Thanksgiving and now we're heading into that Bears game, playing against the Bears tomorrow night at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Chicago, in the cold Chicago, the Windy City, baby. It's gonna be about 30 degrees there. I don't think it's gonna rain, so it's not gonna be a monsoon bowl like we had to deal with in the Patriots land in Gillette Stadium. So it's gonna be a little different now. Going up against Mitch Trubisky and company. Mitch Trubisky has not been playing well this year. He did play well last week for Thanksgiving against the Lions, but again, he was playing against their third string quarterback, which I might add, the Lions' third string quarterback was playing okay. He wasn't playing that bad, but they got that win there, so I guess they're on high hopes there. But with this Dallas Cowboy team, I just want to say right now, on paper, you ain't got no reason losing to this team. You don't. But I also said that about the Buffalo Bills too. For whatever reason, the Dallas Cowboys have been shooting themselves in the foot. They've been cheddar bobbing themselves for the last couple of weeks, and I just don't understand it. They've been self-destructing. But um, as I do with every matchup video, I talk about the effects that the team have, you know, going into that game against the team, and we talk about the numbers. We're talking about numbers, but I feel like a lot of these numbers are not necessarily pointless, but they haven't gone the way that they should, depicting on what the numbers say, which is very weird. But Dallas Cowboys do, they have a way of doing different things that don't make sense. I've always rooted for my Dallas Cowboys, and I've always in my game predictions, I always said for them to win. Now I was all week I was thinking, leading up until tomorrow, I kept thinking that, okay, I'm not gonna root for this team. No, I'm always gonna root for the team, but I wasn't gonna predict that they were gonna win. But I'm still gonna do it because I'm stupid, and I'm a stupid Cowboy fan, and I love my team, and I just can't root against them. I just can't do it. But as we get into the numbers, Dallas Cowboys, both Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears are 6-6 going into this game. But their 6-6 is crucially different. The Chicago Bears, I think they're third in their division. Dallas Cowboys are first in their division with a 6-6 record, which shows you how bad this division is. Mathematically, the Redskins are still in it with what, 3 wins? Low, unbelievable, right? That's how bad this division is. It's almost like nobody wants to take the NFC East this year. The Eagles dropped a big goose egg against the Miami Dolphins, and they almost seemingly just giving you an early Christmas gift. They want to give you the division. They want to stop the because we haven't had a repeat. We haven't had a repeat division winner since I think 2014 when the Eagles won it. Um, but if the Cowboys do, they'll go back to back. So, with that being said, Cowboys can't do anything right now but take care of themselves. Make sure that they start winning these games because you got the Rams next week at home. So you want to make sure that you get this game and stop playing around and just win it because it's very winnable. Now, the Bears have a good defense, and I'll go get into their defense in a minute. But as we look at the numbers here, the Chicago Bears, they're 29th in offense, which is just terrible. They're seventh in defense. I said they were good in defense. They're actually ranked one higher than us. They're right in front of us in defense ranking. Passing 28th and rushing 28th. Now, They got David Montgomery and Tyreek Cohen, but it looks like with Tyreek, they use him more like a receiver. They don't rush the ball with him enough, and they don't get a lot of production with their rushing either. So their offense is kind of stalemate. Their defense has been keeping them afloat, and all the games they won, you can say that was mostly on their defense. Now they won that Lions game offensively last week. Um, Mitch Trubisky did throw for like almost 300 something yards, but I guess that ain't saying nothing on the lines because Dak Prescott had was north of 400 um, passing yards. So that's neither here nor there. Dallas Cowboys first in offense still, um, eighth in defense, first in passing, and eighth in rushing. Now we talk about running the ball. Ezekiel Elliott ran the ball well last week, but we walked away from it. We just stopped doing it. And I know that in the third and fourth quarter you were getting behind and you had to pass the ball more to kind of get yourself back up. Because you got to, when you're behind like that, and you don't want to get behind like that in games, when you get behind like that, you get to a point where you have to um, push it and you got to pass the ball more. That whole consensus of running the ball, you're not able to do that because you have to score quick and often, especially if you're down three scores like the Cowboys were. Now we're first in offense, which is crazy to think. I can't be mad at Kellen Moore because that's Kellen Moore helping Dak Prescott get these yardage and passing the ball and allow him to call these plays to get him to where he needs to go. The problem is red zone. The problem is with us losing these games is also the defense lays goose eggs sometimes too. As good as our defense is, they've been allowing teams to gash them up the middle with their running backs, and they've just been just applying pressure on our defense, and we just couldn't do nothing about it because we haven't been making the necessary adjustments to adjust to what that team's offense is doing to us. So those are some of the reasons why you're first in numbers, but your record does not depict it. And some people will tell you that Dak Prescott dropped the Bills game and he dropped the Jets game. I look at those two games. That was a whole team effort. Nobody played well in that game. Dak, Zeke Elliott, everybody was at fault at that. So football is a team sport. It's not always just going to be a one person. The quarterback just takes the brunt of it because he is the leader of the team. It's almost like the captain of a ship. The captain of the ship lives and dies with his ship. If the ship goes down, you go down too. You ain't going home that night or ever. So, you got to live and die with your team. That's just how it works as a quarterback. If you can't handle it, you don't need to be a quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky has a 67.9 passer rating in the red zone this season. Ow, that's terrible. 67.9. When you look at Dak Prescott, he averages 97.3. So you just look at that difference in ratio is crazy. Um, the only people that have a lower passer rating than him is Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Wow. Now that's a fun fact, but not fun for Mitchell. Cowboys average about 432.8 total yards per game, most in team history. So, throughout history of the Dallas Cowboys since 1960, this season, averaging 432 yards roughly, is the most in team history. So, Dak Prescott throwing the ball well. Kellen Moore calling good games. Even though, he makes mistakes, he's still learning. I'll live and die with that right now. Because he's trying. He is trying to be innovative and do different things. It's not like he's trying to be a lame duck. Jason Garrett is the one that's saying, hey, we got to pull that back. Don't pull that back. Let it rip. Let it rip. That's the problem. We need to let this team rip. We got young talent on this team, and they need to be let loose. They need confidence. They need to be able to go out there and do what they need to do, down in, down out, at just throughout all facets of the game. Um, we stopped the slow starts last game because we scored in the first quarter, but then we scored, and then we just it's like you can't win. It's like it's like a seesaw. You either have a slow start and get it in the end, or you have a fast start and you just dwindle downward towards the end. We don't need that. We need a balance. You need that seesaw. You need to have equal weight. Both of y'all need to be the same size. Ain't no big person over here and a little person over here. It need to be balanced. Just to put it in that perspective. Um, Now this is an embarrassing stat. Cowboys have 0 takeaways in 4 straight games. Ouch. Um, you know, you have the eighth ranked defense. You need to be getting takeaways. It kind of pisses me off a little bit because again, you guys go back to the draft. You remember when we draft Tristan Hill, and guess what? Tristan Hill he's just inactive and he's not playing. And that was technically our first round pick because we didn't have a first round pick, so he was our second round pick, and we picked him at number 58. But guess what? When we drafted, guess who was there? Guess who was there that we could have used? Two safeties, Juan Thornhill and Taylor Rapp. Both of those guys got pick sixes this past week for their respective teams. One for the Rams and one for the Chiefs. Juan Thornhill for the Chiefs got a pick six. Taylor Rapp for the damn Rams got a pick six. And they both dominated that. You could have had either one of them players on this team right now. We got 0 takeaways in the last 4 games. And you got Tristan Hill. I said in my mock drafts, if you guys go back to my mock drafts, which I doubt you will, because who cares at this point because it doesn't matter. But I talked about Juan Thornhill and I talked about Taylor Rapp. We had conversations all the time about these two young DBs that would have been great for the Dallas Cowboys. I wanted Juan Thornhill. I did. But we got Tristan Hill. And I know that for pass rushers and defensive tackles coming out of the draft, it takes them a while to get that niche and to get used to the NFL and trying to get past the offensive line. I get it. It's not. It's a different situation. I understand. So, let's just move past that. Dak Prescott has 3,788 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions so far this season. To Mitchell Trubisky's 2,196 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Now, his production has been really up and down. The Bears, like the Cowboys, were looked in the offseason as a team that could have taken it. But crazy how things change once the season starts. And you start losing games, you start slipping here, you have a bad game here, you have a bad game there, and you just see how just the rain on your parade comes down on you. Ezekiel Elliott has 227 attempts for 990 yards and 7 touchdowns. So technically, Zeke only needs 10 yards to reach 1,000. So, we talked about his production, and it was like, well, he's still a 1,000-yard rusher. David Montgomery, 172 attempts, 594 yards, and 5 touchdowns as a running back. Amari Cooper, 64 receptions, 971 yards, 7 touchdowns. And for the Bears, Allen Robinson, 71 receptions, 850 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So, Allen Robinson is obviously one of their guys because Taylor Gabriel is not playing. He's been injured. I think he has a concussion. Yeah, he has a concussion. So he's not playing this game. But Allen Robinson is their go-to guy as far as receivers go. So again, they're going to use Tyreek Cohen as They may run the ball with him as well, but they use him more in passing games. So you're gonna see if they did their research, the teams have been getting the Cowboys by running screenplays. And with that being said, they're more than likely going to use Cohen on those screenplays. And, we definitely have to be able to combat that and watch out for that. Now, you look at the injury list. I talked about for the Bears. I said that wide receiver Taylor Gabriel is out with a concussion. Prince of Mukamara, you guys remember him? They used to be with the Giants. Well, he's with the Bears now, and he is also, he's doubtful for the game because he has a hamstring injury. Bobby Massey got an ankle, he's out. Ben Bronnecker, their tight end, he's out with a concussion. And Danny Trevathan, you guys remember him when he was with the Broncos. He's now with the Bears. He has the elbow. Linebacker Danny Trevathan, he's out. Um, our injuries. Now, you already know the top three. Now, Tony Pollard came up on the injury report just randomly. He had an ankle injury. I think he might have tweaked his ankle in practice. He's questionable. He's not out yet, but we'll probably get that word tomorrow for sure. But I doubt that he'll play if his ankle's like that. Which is going to be kind of a blow because you kind of need both of these running backs to do some things for you. So we'll see how the Cowboys play this, if in fact that Pollard doesn't get to play. Jeff Heath is out. Uh, Leighton Vander Esch is still out, and Antoine Woods is out. Those are your guys that are not playing for sure. We know that Antoine Woods is still dealing with his MCL strain. Leighton Vander Esch, he has that neck stinger. Now I had somebody come in the comments and say, I hope that it's not a Ryan Shazier type of situation where if he tries to tackle somebody and it could cause spinal cord damage or things of that nature. And my response was, I really hope not, because you don't want this to be a season-ending type of injury that he has. Because you remember, guys, when we had what was his name, linebacker, Devontae Holloman. I think he was a Gamecock, South Carolina. So he's back coaching with his old college now. But he had to retire very early. I think he was with the Cowboys for like 2 or 3 years only. Like he was still on his rookie contract. And he had to retire after 3 years because he kept getting those neck stingers, kind of similar to what Leighton Vander Esch was getting, and it was affecting his spinal cord. I think he had like separation in his vertebrae or something like that. So the doctors told him it probably wasn't smart for him to play football anymore. And if you know, like I know, and I played linebacker, high school, arena league, you know what I mean? Like you look at that linebacker position is very important, your upper body, because when you tackle, when you hit a guy, you feel all that, your neck, your back, your core, all of that. You need all of that to be able to wrap up a guy and get him on the ground. So with that being said, I'm just going to pray for Leighton, and hopefully that, I've heard some people say that he might not even play again this season. But thank God that you have Sean Lee, right? Good thing Sean Lee came back because you have somebody to come and kind of soften that blow a little bit, which is very important for your team. Now you look at the matchups here. There's a couple of guys on their team that are going to present a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'll talk about the easier one, which is Mitchell Trubisky. And I know what you're thinking. Mitchell Trubisky, how is he a threat to the Cowboys? And he sucks. You just said, E2, that he sucks. I didn't say he sucks. I just said that he is not playing like the second overall pick that he was. So that's what I'm saying. Now, I don't know what his deal is, and he's not really that much of a mobile quarterback. But if you give him the opportunity, he'll come out of the pocket on you. But you just have to be able to apply pressure. Excuse me, guys. You have to be able to apply pressure on him and get him to the ground. All this, like, not getting to the quarterback, is the thing that irritates me about the Cowboys pass rush is we get there, but then the guy just slips out. He either runs for the first down or he dumps the ball off to a guy for the first down. So you got to make sure when you get close to Mitch, you got to get Mitch down, get him on the ground, frustrate him. That is the key. So you look at that. So then now we talk about their biggest threat, Khalil Mack. Remember Khalil Mack? He was with the Raiders. He was a former teammate of Amari Cooper when they were both with the Raiders. Now, Khalil Mack is a monster, and Amari Cooper said it himself, and we know that. He is a guy. I want to say that if he's not the if he's not the best pass rusher in the league, he's damn near right there. I don't know for I can't think of the life of me why the Raiders would have had wanted to trade him away like that. But Chicago got a gem, and he only had 6.5 sacks. But let me tell you something. This dude, I don't want to see him in no dark alley. Like Khalil Mack will knock you the hell out. You know what I'm saying? Like as a quarterback, you see Khalil Mack coming, you like, I'm throwing this out the bounds. You ain't about to hit me, brother. I ain't taking none of these sacks. I ain't taking none of these sacks, brother. Nope. I don't even want. I don't want no part of what you got going on over there with them sacks. Cause let me tell you something. I ain't never played the quarterback position because like I'm the one doing the hitting. I play defense, so that's why I play defense because I ain't want to get hit. I wanted to do the hitting. But when you see a guy like Khalil Mack coming at you, he with the right team. He's like a bear. He is like a bear. Like a big Kodiak just coming at you just demolishing you. This dude is relentless. I mean, he's explosive. His motor just doesn't stop. He leads the Bears, like I said, with 6.5 sacks, and he's just he. What they do with him that I noticed after looking at some of the games, they move him around in the formation. You know how like most ends on teams, they're either on the left side or they're on the right side. But Khalil Mack rotates. He can be on the left side this play, or he could be on the right side, and which will present a problem for both Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins. So we just have to watch out for that and be mindful of these guys. You can the way that you get Khalil Mack is you're gonna have to chip him, whether you double team him or you get an extra guy just to chip him and slow him down a little bit, just so Dak Prescott can get that space, that time he needs to get that ball downfield. Um, their third weapon is Cordero Patterson. You guys remember Cordero Patterson from when he was with the Vikings. Now, Cordero Patterson to me is like another Devin Hester. Um, he's a special teams guy, which is also a receiver. He is one of the most dynamic returners in NFL history. He leads the league right now in kickoff returns with 711. 711, that's funny. With 711 yards on kickoff returns. Come on now. How you got 700? That's pretty. That you gotta give him that. That's a lot. And Cordero Patterson is not a guy that is scared to bring the ball out. When you punt the ball or you kick off to this guy, you better get a touchback. That ball better go into the back of the end zone and bounce off somewhere to the point they got to get another ball. They can't even use that one because it didn't bounced off into oblivion somewhere. It didn't went to a whole nother state. Because when that wind start blowing, let that thing just go away. Keep it away from Cordero Patterson. I'm talking to you, Chris Jones. I'm talking to you, Brent Maher. Kick the ball away from Cordero Patterson. Because if he catches that ball, I don't care if he catches the ball in the back of the end zone. Cordero Patterson ain't kneeling the ball. He said, I ain't no punk, whatever. I ain't kneeling. I'm coming out. I'm coming. Even if I just get to 20 yards, I'm coming out because he is elusive. You got to put him on the ground. So those are the three things that the Cowboys have to make sure they be mindful of. Khalil Mack, of course, Mr. Trubisky, and Cordero Patterson. Everything else, you just got to play sound, and I keep saying this, but it refers to every week. They have to play better. Cowboys are cheddar bobbing it. They are just like Cheddar Bob and 8 Mile. They are shooting themselves in the foot. They are shooting themselves. They can't blame anybody but themselves right now. Dak Prescott came out and said, "Hey, no more talking. We just have to put the pen to the paper, and we have to ride and we got to work. We have to go in here and work because again, you can rah and root and talk and do all this other speeches, but if you're not putting that production on the field, none of that matters. So that's just where I'm at with that. Um, Uh, Big fun fact: Cowboys have not lost a Thursday night football game in 40 years. So if they lose tomorrow night, if they just so happen to drop a goose egg and shoot themselves in the foot like Cheddar Bob, it will be the first time that they lose a game on Thursday night football in 40 years. That will be embarrassing. We got to keep that streak going. So Cowboys got to win tomorrow night. Point blank simple. Dak Prescott, he, the Buffalo Bills, you got to give their defense credit. Ed Oliver and company, they were able to smack the ball out of Dak Prescott's hands so he couldn't pass it. Dak Prescott has to be mindful of his blind spots. I know that it's hard to do as a quarterback because you're looking downfield trying to make the play. Um, so, with that being said, Dak Prescott said that he's going to step up in the pocket more, get away from these guys, and just try to get the ball off faster. If he needs to start doing dump off screens and things of that nature, he needs to do that. We got to run that ball more with Ezekiel Elliott because you can run the ball on these guys. You just got to get it done. Um, One key thing on our wide receiver core, um, two things actually. Get Amari Cooper involved more, get him more touches, get him more receiving yards and things of that nature. Just get him the ball. Just throw him the ball. Him and Randall Cobb too. Another fun fact too, and I was just thinking about it. Randall Cobb has 200-yard games this season, and both of those were against NFC North opponents, which ironically was his division when he was with Green Bay. So he definitely has 200-yard games against those guys because he knows how to play those guys because he knows the NFC North. So I think this game could be big for Randall Cobb. So look for him to get the ball, get it off, and get some yards after catch, things of that nature. You get these things done, you'll win this game. My prediction for this game is I would say Cowboys 24, Bears 19. Let's go Cowboys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Thanks again to all my subscribers. I appreciate all your support. If you are a new subscriber, go ahead and just smash that subscribe button. I'm talking about smash it. I want you to hit that subscribe button so hard that I can hear it while I'm at work tomorrow. Like bam! Like damn, somebody just subscribed to my channel. Woo! All right, do that. So with that being said, y'all, it's your boy E2 Blue. Always keep it real. Talk to y'all soon.